And I wanted to start with, probably so far, the story of the day, Marcus Rashford, because the update I gave you on my platforms today, and I wanted to explain every single detail of this piece of information, is about Marcus Rashford. My understanding is that Barcelona have officially decided not to activate the buy option clause included in the agreement made in July 2025 with Manchester United for Marcus Rashford. So, officially, in 5 days, the buy option clause for Marcus Rashford to Barcelona on permanent deal, worth 30 million euros, in 5 days will expire. So, officially, according to my info, will not be triggered and Marcus Rashford will return to Manchester United. So,
what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the United Focus. And what a day of Manchester United news we have got for you today. It is an absolutely massive day at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford's Barcelona saga has finally reached its conclusion, and Fabrizio Romano has broken the news. 3 players have officially left the club today. There are significant updates on Matteas Fernandes, Elliot Anderson, and the full picture of United's attacking plans. And we need to talk about whether United sign 1 more midfielder, 2 more, or decide the squad they already have is enough. Buckle up, let's get through every single detail. Right, let's start with the story that has dominated Manchester United's summer since the moment the season ended. Marcus Rashford. And today, Fabrizio Romano has delivered the definitive verdict. Barcelona will not be triggering the €30 million purchase option clause for Marcus Rashford. The clause expires in 5 days. Discussions between Barcelona and Manchester United have come to a close. The deal has collapsed, and Rashford is formally set to return to Old Trafford. Romano's exact words, and this is important, were as follows. Barcelona will not pay the buy option clause. Rashford is formally set to return to Man United. But, and here is the interesting part, Barcelona remain open to new solutions, specifically another loan deal. Romano confirmed that Barca are open to discussing again if United open those doors. So the picture is this. Barcelona do not want to pay £30 million permanently, but they might want Rashford back for another season on loan. And United's position? The Manchester Evening News are reporting that the club currently has no plans to reintegrate Rashford into Michael Carrick's squad for next season. He is not in the plans. He does not fit the rebuild. Carrick is building something new at Old Trafford, and Rashford, at this moment, is not part of that vision. Why did Barcelona pull out? Multiple factors. All of them make sense in context. Marca are reporting that manager Hansi Flick believes Anthony Gordon will offer more going forward. That is a brutal but honest assessment. Flick also pointed to the age difference. Rashford turns 29 in October, while Gordon only turned 25 in February. From a long-term squad building perspective, the maths is straightforward. And then there is the wages issue. Rashford earns £325,000 a week, a deal signed after his outstanding 30-goal campaign in 2023. Barcelona found those wages impossible to accommodate, and there was no movement on reducing them during negotiations. So where does Rashford go from here? This is genuinely complicated. He wants to stay in Spain. That has been consistent throughout. But with Barcelona closing the door, where are his other options? Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, and Aston Villa are all said to be interested as Rashford weighs up his future. Villa is an interesting one. He actually spent time on loan there during the 2024-25 season, so there is familiarity there. Spurs are in a rebuilding phase under Roberto De Zerbi and might see Rashford as a short-term solution. Arsenal's interest is perhaps the most surprising given their attacking depth, but with Jesus potentially leaving, there could be a role. The other option, and Romano left the door open to this, is another loan back to Barcelona. United would need to be willing to subsidise his wages again for that to work. Whether Carrick's staff have the appetite for that arrangement after everything that has played out this summer is another question entirely. What is absolutely clear right now is this. Rashford is returning to Manchester United. He will be at the World Cup with England, and his performances there could dramatically change his market value and the options available to him. United are hoping for exactly that, a strong tournament that creates a queue of buyers willing to pay a decent fee. This summer just got a lot more complicated for Marcus Rashford, and United need to find a clean resolution before pre-season begins. Now, before we get into the incomings, let's acknowledge 3 significant departures that have been confirmed today, because this is a major moment in the transition from one era to the next. First, Jadon Sancho has officially left Manchester United as a free agent. 5 years since joining from Borussia Dortmund in a £75 million deal that made him United's 4th most expensive signing ever. A loan spell at Aston Villa last season could not save his United career. He leaves on a free. A deeply disappointing story for a player of enormous talent who simply could never consistently produce at Old Trafford. We wish him well wherever he goes next, but this is the right ending for all parties. Second, Tyrell Malacia has officially left as a free agent from today. The Dutch left-back had an absolutely torrid time with injuries during his time at the club and was barely able to contribute. Another one that simply did not work out. Third, and this one has been coming for a long time, Casemiro has officially left Manchester United as a free agent from today. The Brazilian midfield warrior is expected to join Inter Miami in Major League Soccer. A new chapter in the United States awaits him. At his peak, Casemiro was transformational for United. His decline was steep and difficult to watch, but the legacy of what he brought in those early seasons deserves to be remembered fondly. All the best, Casemiro. Enjoy Miami. 3 out in one day. The rebuild is well and truly underway, and the squad picture becomes clearer, and the wage bill significantly lighter as a result. One more expected departure, Manuel Ugarte. The Uruguayan midfielder had minimal impact last season, but has been starting for Uruguay in their international games in March and could play a significant role in their World Cup campaign. United's hierarchy are actively hoping that a strong tournament increases Ugarte's resale value this summer. Getting decent money for him would be a significant boost to the transfer budget. Matteas Fernandez, talks ongoing, West Ham in no rush. Now let's update the Matteas Fernandez situation, because there are some new details that paint a clearer picture of where this one stands. Sky Sports News are confirming that United are currently exploring a deal to sign West Ham's Mateus Fernandes. The club are doing background work on the 21-year-old, described as a realistic deal, given West Ham's relegation from the Premier League. However, here is the important context. Sky Sports News also confirm that West Ham value Fernandes at around £80 million and are in no rush to sell. The Hammers paid £38 million for him just last summer. They are not in financial distress. They are not going to give him away cheaply or quickly just because they got relegated. So United's pursuit is real. The player will leave West Ham at some point this summer. That much seems certain given the calibre of clubs interested. But the Hammers are not going to be rushed into accepting a lowball offer. United will need to get to something close to that £80 million valuation to get this done. Romano had already confirmed earlier this week that United made direct contact with Elliot Anderson, waiting game. An interesting update on Elliot Anderson of Nottingham Forest, and it is a story of patience from United's side. Anderson remains high on United's list of targets. The club holds a long-term interest in the England midfielder. But here is the current situation. Forest rejected an initial offer from Manchester City earlier this window. City made the first move and got turned down. United are now watching carefully to see how Anderson's future is resolved, most likely after the World Cup, before deciding whether to make their own move or pivot to alternative targets. Forest owner Marinakis wants enormous money for Anderson. Figures around £100 million have been discussed. Whether United are willing to go to that level, or whether they wait to see if City's pursuit fizzles out and Forest become more flexible, is the calculated decision being made at Old Trafford right now. Will United sign 2 more midfielders? This is the big strategic question hanging over United's entire window, and it is genuinely fascinating. Ederson is confirmed. That is one. The question is whether Carrick goes back in for 2 more central midfielders on top, or whether the club decides that the existing options around Ederson are sufficient. Here is the context. Mason Mount has been played in a deeper midfield position towards the end of last season, suggesting Carrick sees him as a legitimate option there, rather than purely in an advanced role. Young Tyler Fletcher, who is now getting invaluable experience as part of Scotland's World Cup campaign, is expected to be more involved with the first team next season. That additional experience playing on the biggest international stage will be a significant boost when he returns to Carrington. With Casemiro and Ugarte both now gone or going, the midfield genuinely does need reinforcement. The argument for two more, Fernandes and potentially Tonali, is compelling. The financial argument for doing one more quality signing and trusting the existing options for depth is also valid. Sandro Tonali remains on the table. We covered in detail that United are reportedly ready to break their transfer record to sign the Italian. Newcastle want £100 million. Some within the Magpies hierarchy now expect him to leave. The pursuit is serious, but signing Ederson, Fernandes and Tonali in the same window would be an extraordinary outlay in just one position. United need to be disciplined about what the squad genuinely needs versus what looks impressive. The attacking picture, multiple names emerging. Now let's talk about attack, because Carrick is also potentially looking to add in that department, and there are several names in the frame. Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa is a player United are formally interested in. Sky Sports News confirmed that Villa are expected to listen to offers around the £80 million mark. Whether United can match that figure on top of all their other midfield spending is the question. But Rogers, 14 goals, 12 assists last season, 23 years old, is exactly the profile of creative attacking player United need more of. Iliman Ndiaye of Everton is another option United are monitoring, though Sky Sports News reported in March that a deal is unlikely this window given he has 3 years remaining on his contract. And then there is a lesser-known name that has emerged, Matteas Fernandez of Lille. The 21-year-old Belgian forward scored 8 goals and provided 5 assists in League One last season, can play across the forward line and has been included in Belgium's World Cup squad. He is described as a player United are showing interest in, which suggests this is early-stage monitoring rather than advanced pursuit, but he fits the profile of the kind of smart, undervalued addition United made so successfully last summer. Much of the forward planning depends on Joshua Zirkzee. The Dutch striker has been a positive presence around the dressing room since arriving, but has simply not been able to build momentum on the pitch. His departure is not guaranteed, but if he does leave, it opens the door for United to strengthen their forward options more aggressively. Benjamin Sesko, Brian Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha all hit double figures in their debut seasons, which is encouraging. But with Champions League football returning next season, the squad needs more depth and quality up front.